Hello and welcome to your second assignment and the final for this module. And basically what we're gonna do here is use Audacity to create a short podcast using the tools that we have learned so far and the platform. So I just have Audacity open it. It looks a little different because I'm using the newest version. So if you have an older version, some of the features are gonna be placed in different locations, but they are basically the same. Just to begin, we have here the platform. Things we need to always verify: the project rate. We're gonna keep it as default. It's gonna be 4,400. And if you need to modify, basically just click on the drop down arrow and make that modification. So we're just gonna keep it in 44,100. That's gonna be the standard. We're gonna keep the other functions as default. Snap to is gonna be off, and we're gonna have this just as it is. The second part we need to do is to verify that we're getting sound from the microphone we're using. So in the audio setup section, we're gonna click and drop down arrow, and we're gonna have a few options here. So for host, we're gonna keep it as core audio. Playback device is gonna be your output. If you don't have like external sound devices, we're gonna keep it as built-in output. That's gonna come from your computer. And recording device, if you have an external microphone, you're gonna select that from the options. If you don't see it, please verify that you have connected properly. If you're using your computer's microphone, we can select built-in microphone. If you're recording from an external device, and I'll show you in a little bit how to add that sound into Audacity. And recorded channels, we're gonna keep it as mono. You have a stereo, please select mono instead. And we have audio settings. You can click in here just to expand this view. Basically, it's gonna show you all the settings that you just made in here for the audio part. And if you need to make further changes, you can come here and do that. For now, it looks good. I'm just gonna click OK. And the next part we need to make sure is that we're actually capturing sound. So here in the microphone, we're gonna click on it, and it's gonna give us two options. So we're gonna start monitoring. We're not recording at this moment. It's just monitoring that some sound is coming through. And if the levels are too high, for instance here, or I get too close to the microphone, it's gonna start clipping. You see the red signal here that's telling me that it's too loud. So if I have an external microphone, I can adjust it from here, and I can also lower the levels here. So an ideal range will be between -12 and -6. You can just lower it a little bit, but please make sure it's not too low, because otherwise it's gonna be hard to edit, or it's gonna be somewhere over here the sound is gonna start clipping. So let's keep it in a nice range, and that should be fine. Once we're done with this, we can just stop monitoring, because now we're sure that we have the sound we need. We're gonna keep this one as default. This is the playback level. That's how the sound is gonna come out after the recording is done, and we're gonna proceed to do the recording. So first step, if we're recording directly on Audacity, is going to hit the record button. This is gonna add a new track, and let's do this quick test. Welcome to the podcast, a place to discover the world of podcasts. I am your host Astrid, and I'm here to tell you all about podcasts, what they are, how they work, and why they are so popular. Okay. This is just a little test. I'm gonna go back over here, and if you notice, I left a few seconds of like no sound, and that's basically to capture the ambient sounds in case we need to remove some background noise, and just to give a break at the beginning. We just don't want to start suddenly into the recording. So let's play it back. Welcome to the podcast, a place to discover the world of podcasts. I am your host Astrid, and I'm here to tell you all about podcasts, what they are, how they work, and why they are so popular. Great, that sounds just fine, nothing interesting, this is just a test, so it works just perfect. Now, if we have made some mistakes throughout this recording, this is the time to edit it, right? So first things first, we're gonna update the name for this one. It's not gonna be audio one, this is gonna be voiceover. We're gonna keep it as voiceover, we click OK, and now we have our voiceover track. If we need to edit, as you have learned in the previous tutorials, we can use the selection tool, select the part, we just step on the part we need to edit with the left click, and holding the left click, we can drag and release in the selection we need to modify. If you want to play that selection, just come back here and you can do that. If I don't need this part at all, I can just hit the delete button and it's gone. If we don't want to clip the track in this way, like you just cut it and just put it back together, what we can do is gonna do Ctrl+Z, and what I will do is just right click on this and I'm gonna split the clip. The shortcut for this one is going to be Command-I on a Mac or Control-I on a Windows computer. Now we have divided this track into subsections. So if I just want to get rid of this, but I don't want to delete it completely, maybe I just need to place it somewhere else, I can do the split and move it somewhere at the end of the track, or basically just select it, delete it, and I have this space to either re-record something or to fill it with background sound. So that's part of the editing. We can also move the audio section here and make the modifications we made. This is just basic editing, honestly. But towards the end, I want this to start. We can do this for the beginning and the end. I'm just gonna do it here. For the end part of the track, I just want the end to sound like very smooth, a fade out effect I want to give to this. So I'm going to select the envelope tool. The envelope tool will add some sound points that I can manipulate. For instance, this one, I just select that region and hit click. Then I can move these points by clicking and dragging, and I can reduce the sound, but in this case I don't want to reduce the whole levels of the track. So what I will do, just put it as it was before, outer point here and outer point here. That way I can manipulate this. So you will have to add 2 outer points. If you just add one of those, what is going to happen is that you're going to be affecting the whole track. So we just want to modify the end a little bit and just give it a smooth exit. There we go. The next part is going to be adding the sound effects. So for sound effects, I have downloaded 2 of those on my desktop, and I'm going to create 2 new tracks for those. So 2 ways to do it. You can go to File, Import, and select that option. You're going to select File, Import, and Audio, or we can just search for those files. In this case, I have it already here. I have it on my folder, and I can just click and drag. Let's select this one, drag it over here, and it's gonna add a new audio track. So this one is a stereo audio track. I don't need that. We can just keep it as it is. We can leave it as stereo, that's fine. And I'm gonna add my second sound effect. There we go. So I have 2 sound effects. They already have they have names in here, but I'm just gonna put in an SFX1. This is gonna be my first sound effect, and this one is gonna be sound effect 2. Consistency is important. So now we have our sound effects, but they are in stereo, right? This is pretty cool. For this exercise, just to reduce the amount of things we have on the screen, we're going to keep it as mono. So we're going to come here to the drop down arrow next to the name, and we're going to split the stereo to mono. Once we do that, we're gonna get rid of one of the sound effects by clicking the X button. And we're gonna do the same thing for sound effect 2, split stereo to mono, and we are going to get rid of one of those. Now we have this voiceover, sound effect 1, sound effect 2, and what we have to do is arrange this in a way that is like it sounds cohesive with the whole recording. Let's take a look just as it is. Okay, just by the beginning I can tell this is just so many things at once. It's like having many conversations at the same time and we can understand nothing, right? So what we're gonna do here is first, this sound is super loud. We can just say because the peaks are higher and it was giving me some clips. So we can just select solo and play it. And we can already tell that it's going quite loud. So we can just reduce the gain here. And we can also do something here. I'm gonna use the envelope tool and I'm gonna reduce the whole sound of it just a little bit, the volume. Now we're gonna unselect solo and let's play. I'm gonna mute this one, sound effect 2. Let's start from the beginning. Welcome to the podcast, a place to discover the world of podcasts. I am your host Astrid and I'm here. That's all right. What we can do is just to create, it starts kind of loud, then we can create another point in here, and another one over here to reduce a little bit the sound on these sections. We can even place this something like that, and it's gonna add a little effect to it. Welcome to the podcast, a place to discover the world of podcasts. Now the sound is gonna be in the background, and we can actually understand what we're saying here on the top. Then the sound effect 2, I can use it anywhere on my recording. I can stop at some point here. We're just gonna have a moment of silence and we just have the voiceover, but I want to decide to use this towards the end of my recording. So something I want to do is just, I'm gonna go back here to my selection tool. I'm going to reduce this just a little bit and I'm going back to this. So what I will do here is just to basically just get a sound out, and we are going to use this as our exit sound effect. So same as the other, I'm just gonna reduce the volume here and I'm going to create an extra point right here because I feel this, I don't want it to start like so abruptly, like super loud. And let's play it all together. Welcome to the podcast, a place to discover the world of podcasts. I am your host Astrid and I'm here to tell you all about podcasts, what they are, how they work, and why they are so popular. That's it. Great. Now we have our recording, and of course you're gonna do a better job. This is just an example and I hope it's helping you to understand the interface a little better. So now that we have this, at all time please save project. I have not done it right now, so yes, we have to save our project, Control S, or you can just go File, Save As, and you're gonna name your project. Okay, great. So now we have our recording ready to be exported. We come to File, Export as MP3, and we are going to rename this document accordingly to what is suggested for the assignment. In this case, I'm gonna just keep it as test1. We're gonna leave the bitrate mode as preset. Quality, we're gonna leave it as standard. This will help us to upload it easily into Canvas. And the channel mode, we're gonna keep it as join stereo. We click save, And it says your tracks will be mixed down and exported as one mono file. That's all right for this project. So we're gonna click OK. We don't need to add this part. If you wanna complete this section, go for it. But this is just a test, an example. But if you have a name for all of these sections, do it. We click OK, and okay, great. So now we have finished our recording, and if it didn't open right immediately after you finish exporting it, you can just find it here on File, Open Recent, and it will be just the very first one on the list because this is the last one we produced. So it says it's located on the users, in this case my folder, and test one. I'm gonna click on it, and it will give me a preview on Audacity of the recording. Now we don't have 3 tracks, we just have 1 track where everything is combined, and it should sound just fine. So I have my sound effect one, voiceover. Great. Here comes my sound effect 2. Perfect. Great. Now this is what you're gonna submit into Canvas. So the next part you will have to do is locate. If you click in here, it will pop up this window. It says changes. I didn't make any changes, so I'm gonna say no, and this will just close up. And what I need to do is locate exactly where the file is. So remember, you go here. It says in this case, it's in this folder, which I located it immediately here. And this is the project that you're going to submit into Canvas. Good luck, and I hope you enjoy doing this project. Let me know if you have any questions.